This was Harry, she said, formerly a successful lawyer with a wife and 2 children. Some time ago, in bed one night, he heard noises coming from somewhere in his house. He got up to see what was going on, thinking it must be the children. But they were both fast asleep. His wife told him she couldn't hear any noise at all. He asked her to listen. Was she sure, if she listened very carefully, she couldn't hear a sound? Like someone shouting but muffled so that the words were incomprehensible? She told him no, he must be imagining things. So he lay there for hours, straining his ears till he fell asleep out of sheer exhaustion. This went on for weeks. Harry was losing a lot of sleep, nothing more serious than that. During the day, everything was normal. Then one morning, when he was at his desk in the city, wearily going over some documents, he heard the distant shouting again. That was the first time he had ever heard it outside his own home or in the light of day. He checked with his secretary. No, she could hear nothing. What about his partner, his old friend? No, nothing at all. They told him not to worry. Perhaps he was under stress. And he didn't worry too much, until he began seeing something. Just a glimpse, but something, both in his own house and at the office. If he looked up suddenly, he'd catch a glimpse of it, just for a second, almost like an after-vision left by a light switched off. He thought it was a man. In fact, he was sure it was a man, but it was hard to say. He couldn't catch sight of it for long enough. Though it was often nearby, sitting on the spare chair at the dinner table, or in the passenger seat of the car, or standing by his desk, disappearing before Harry could get a clear view of it. He by now had learned from his past experience. He told his wife and his children just once what he had seen, and asked them just once if they had spotted a stranger prowling around the house outside, or inside, as he feared they had not. He didn't mention the subject again. In fact, when his wife asked him later if he was still seeing things, he laughed. Clogged sinuses, he said. The problem must be his clogged sinuses. But as the weeks went by, they all noticed, that often as Harry was doing some routine thing, eating his meals or reading legal documents or speaking on the telephone, or even in the middle of small talk with one of them, he would suddenly become alert, straining his ears. Or he would turn his head sharply and look past them, his eyes wide with alarm. Yet if they asked him what was wrong, he would say, everything was just fine. Within another month he was completely useless. He spent all his time, day and night, listening to the distant shouting, trying to get a good look at something no one else could see. More and more now his eyes were filled with fear. He recovered. Immediately they took him away to the coast for a week's holiday. He was his old self again, making love to his wife for the first time in months, playing with the children the way he used to in the old days. Till one afternoon, while he was at the beach helping them build a sand castle, whatever it was caught up with him. He sat for the rest of the week in the hotel without saying a word, engrossed in his private torment. They took him home again on a Monday. That day he spoke for the last time, just as darkness was falling, the time he feared most. He spoke to his wife with the studied effort of a man tearing himself away from some dreadful preoccupation, but he spoke clearly, and struggled to repeat himself, to make sure she understood. No one, he said, should worry about him. He would fight to the end. He would protect them. He would not let them down. She wept and asked him what he meant. But he could not speak again. From that day, almost a year before, all his attention was focused on that other voice, that invisible companion he seemed so fearful of. 6 months ago, desperate, all other treatments having failed, his wife brought him to the Institute for the Lost. At their first meeting, Dr. Gillies, on an impulse, put her stethoscope to the top of Harry's head. From inside she heard quite plainly a sound, like a distant voice, roaring. She decided immediately to take him on as one of her specials. Dr. Gillies at that point offered me her stethoscope so that I might myself listen. She said Harry would not mind at all. I declined. The case fascinated her. She and one of her assistants were making tapes of the sound in Harry's head.